Justice League issue 1, written by Brian Hitch, but this time the art is by Tony S. Daniel, and which is nice because they are, I mean, big improvement from the Rebirth issue, and I think in general, I think this is an improvement from the Rebirth issue, continuing that trend of issue 1's improving upon Rebirth
Yes.
issues. I liked how this felt really epic. I wasn't actually expecting that, but it does. It feels like there's something going on over the entire planet, and all the heroes are trying to figure out what's going on. And we got some nice different points of view. It started with Wonder Woman's point of view, and
Hmm.
she had some good narration. He seemed to have the voice down. She had a lightning bolt power that was
How
not.
cool is that lightning bolt thing? Like seriously,
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
cool.
love it.
just when she lands and just everything just gets fucked up. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
I like the design of her shield here as well, with the gold eagle on the red background. Looks really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it does look nice.
So now the art's very good. Like Tony Daniel, much better artist than as a writer.
Oh, absolutely.
Like no question, no question. So now really liked all that. It cuts to Simon and Jessica. They're in a different. They're in Beijing. Actually, I'm just looking at it. Yeah, Beijing.
Yeah.
And they're trying to use their powers to like stop everything from happening. Keep all the buildings up while the earthquakes are going off and all that. And they're like, oh, we need to try and find the other guys. Cyborg's calling some shots. And Cyborg's alright in this issue. Like, one of the concerns you might have is that he's just going to be the telephone pole that he's been for whatever time.
Yeah, he's the
But he
operator.
actually,
but
but
he
he
can just
actually
change
gets
his
stuck
name.
in.
Yeah, he gets stuck in. He does his whole football tackle with a subway train.
And,
Yeah.
and I like that because sometimes you forget that he was an athlete. You know,
Because they play
Like,
up
he-
so much the tech that you forget he
Yeah.
has a human side sometimes.
And I did like that. That was probably my favorite part of the issue is when he says that he goes, "Yeah, I was supposed to go to college on a football scholarship."
Yeah. No,
So,
I
that was
agree
cool.
with that. Cool double page spread of the Flash, like round about saving people.
Yeah,
Daniel's art makes the Flash look really cool, so that was nice. And if it sounds like I'm just racing through this, it's because it is just a lot of action happening. There's not a whole lot of. Now, one thing I will mention is we cut to Aquaman and what's going on in Atlantis while all this is going down, all these big earthquakes. Atlantis is basically totaled. Like, Atlantis is fucked.
well, between Hitch and Abnett, yeah, there's no hope for Atlantis.
No, it's not looking good for their future.
It's
Is it?
not. This is why I'm interested in seeing where this will end up. Like, I hope that when we get to the second arcs of all the other books, that they reference this arc in Justice League, unless it's retconned in some way, like with magic or whatever they do. But just because they kind of have to mention that Atlantis got told. They kind of have to mention that all these things are happening all over the world at some point. So, and I'm fine with them.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything can't be happening at the exact same time. So,
It
I
is interesting because I was thinking of the timeline because in this Jessica still can't create constructs,
yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah.
Yep.
so it's like, whereabouts is this? Because I assumed she was gonna get that relatively soon.
Yeah, well, I assume that that'll come. Maybe not in the first arc of Green Lantern, maybe that'll be the second arc.
Yeah,
We'll build to
Yeah,
that for a while.
And I'd rather see her do that in Green Lanterns than in Justice League.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's cool. I mean, it makes a nice block and it makes her stand out from the other Green Lanterns. Is that she's the one that can't do constructs because she does have agoraphobia. So it's like her willpower is a constant struggle with herself.
Also, it's nice that they kind of like focus away from Batman and Superman for most of the issue. Like Batman eventually sort of shows up, but it's quite far into the issue, and Superman's only seen from like a distance, like doing stuff, and they don't really know this Superman yet. And Batman's just like, yeah, let him do his thing. He's helping, you know.
Yeah, he saved the president. Let him keep doing what he does.
Yeah,
it's just kind of one of my biggest problems that I really wanted in this book to see them interact with Superman.
I'm
Like,
sure we'll get it. It's just
I know,
Yeah.
but I want it already.
I like that though because it puts Superman up kind of on a pedestal because they are not trusting him, but he hasn't given a reason them not to, other than he's a new Superman. They watched the other one powderize, or vaporize earlier. So, again, he hasn't proven to be a threat, so I treat him like a threat. Just, let him do his thing.
yeah. I agree. But no, art's really good. Whatever this thing is, it's shooting out things. It's taking control of people. It's a decent enough threat. They're called the Kindred, I believe, is the name. And it's basically just ends with Wonder Woman saying, "Look, we're coming for you. We're mobilising because of the goddamn Justice League." So if I have a complaint, really, it is just that the cliffhanger feels a little bit weird. Like it doesn't feel like that much of a cliffhanger. It's almost like they didn't really have a cliffhanger, so they just write a bit of badass dialogue for Wonder Woman, and that can end there.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. I don't think it doesn't play as a cliffhanger though. I don't think it's intended to be.
Well, you know
think
what I
it's just-
mean. I guess what I'm saying, not cliffhanger. It doesn't feel like as much of a hook as an issue usually ends with. I know it's not always a cliffhanger. Sometimes it's a somber moment, or sometimes it's a.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean.
I love
Oh,
Pete just yelling. You know what I mean?
Ultroning,
Uh-oh.
Ultroning.
Yeah, I do think it was weird how epic this was because I was expecting a much smaller scale story given the Rebirth issue. Even though that was like a big, massive monster destroying shit, it felt small for Justice League.
Whereas
Yep.
this feels like big. It feels epic.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting that at all. But Tony Daniels can clearly handle making it feel that way.
Yeah,
Much better artist than writer.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the Rebirth issue for what it was. It wasn't great, but it was like a sort of fun romp. And this just kind of
Yeah.
was that, but better. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still not special, but I'm enjoying it. Like the characters' voices seem to be down, and the action's pretty good. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
it's not like this is something that's going to be remembered as a must read at this stage, but
Yeah.
it's worth reading now.
I would be highly surprised if it ever like makes my like top book of the week, but it's always going to be enjoyable in the middle somewhere.
And that's
Yeah.
what a Justice League book should be. It shouldn't, it should be just kind of like a fun blockbuster versus, all this major stuff happening that Johns was doing. Like, and I hate to keep comparing it to New 52 stuff, but that's kind of what we have to do,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the last iteration.
John's like sometimes it worked. Like I really like Forever Evil, and sometimes it just felt a bit like, oh, you're forcing this a bit too much.
Yeah.
Like Dark Side War.
I think the thing is, for the New 52, Justice League was the flagship book, whereas now it's just not, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Now we have Superman and Batman and Detective Comics and Action Comics, and if that's going to be the case, then I'm cool.
Yeah.
Those are the books that kind of built DC, right?
Yeah, no, they are. Like DC would be bankrupt and not existing if it wasn't for those four.
Yep.
And over the decades. So no, that's Justice League. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yep.